If your friend has a coding project on GitHub, the amount of steps you have to take to contribute some new code to this is absolutely incredible. So the code is over here on his GitHub account on the left. You're going to have to find a way to move that over to your GitHub account, move that down to your computer, make the changes, get those changes ready, take a snapshot of them, send that snapshot first up to your GitHub account, and then you and your friend can move them over to his GitHub repo. Don't stress about this. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what each step does and how to do it. You need to have two things in order to do this. You need an account on GitHub, and you need to download and install the Git program. I'll drop a link for both of those in the description here. The first task is to move the code from his GitHub repo over to your GitHub account. To move this code over, you got to do what GitHub calls a fork. And just like a fork in the road, you're about to start in the same place as your friend, but as you make changes, you're going to be taking a different road with the code, at least for a little while. So on your friend's repo, over on the right, there's a drop down for fork, and you can create a new fork. Once you do that, the same repository is going to be in your GitHub account. The next task is to move this code from your GitHub account to your computer so that you can make changes. What you're doing is making a copy of this whole repository on your computer, and because it's an exact copy, it's called a clone. You can do this by opening up Command Prompt on your computer and navigating to wherever you want this repository to be copied to on your computer. And then you type the command Git Clone and then copy in the HTTPS string that you can find on your GitHub on the code dropdown. So copy this, put it after Git Clone, hit enter, and this is going to clone down the repo to your computer. Now you can make any changes you want to the code. Once you've made all the changes, you want to start the process of sending those changes back to your friend. What you're actually going to be sending is a snapshot of the code after you changed it. Like any picture, you first have to get everything ready. Like a family picture, you first add daddy, mommy, baby, say smile, and then take the picture. And it's the same with your code. So the next step that you need to take is adding your changes to your computer's Git. Inside of that folder that you cloned down from GitHub, there's a little hidden folder called Git. And in that, you need to add all of your changes. You can do that in the command prompt here by typing git add -- all. This takes all the changes you just made and puts them here ready in that little folder. Once they're ready, you need to take a picture of all those changes together, and that's called a Git Commit. It's called a commit because you are committing to have the code all saved in a certain way. So you make that snapshot or that Git Commit with the command Git Commit -m for message, and then open up a quotation and put in a little description of what you changed about the code. Close the quotation marks, hit enter, and now you have a little snapshot of all your changes. The next step is to move that snapshot of your changes up to your GitHub account. The command for this is Git Push. You are pushing it from your computer up to your GitHub account. And you're allowed to push it because you own your GitHub account. The next step is to move the code from your GitHub account to your friend's GitHub account. You can't push it over to his account because you don't own that. You're not allowed to just push any changes you want to somebody else's account. So you have to request that he pulls the code. You do that by opening up a pull request. So here on your friend's GitHub repository, on the right, you can do contribute dropdown and open a new pull request. You open this new pull request and it sends your friend a notification and the code that you changed. So he can look over it, see if it's good, and if he likes it, he can approve the pull request. It pulls the code into his repo, and then he can merge it, bring your changes into his same repo.